Who knew that when we looked at the schedule and saw, all right, well, these two teams play each other, this would be on the line. We thought maybe they'd both be playing
for
a shot at the top two. The Vikings, they'll be close, but not quite there. Complexity has everything to play for. They have secured top four already with their big win over Zenamoon earlier today. But now they're playing for the ultimate prize out of the rival series.
So much on the line for both teams. The Vikings looking to put themselves in top four contention, but Complexity trying to play spoiler.
Let me give you the stat of the day for Flakes. 17 goals in 18 games, highest scoring average of anybody in the rival series. And just for the sake of comparison, those numbers would put him only behind Kuxer, Kadop, and Scrubkilla in the RLCS.
Not a bad lineup to be featured with.
And here's Maestro, a player that a lot of people think should be in the RLCS. He's taken out of the play by Magnus, and Flakes gets stuffed by Pondex.
Yeah, and honestly, both of these teams, potential RLCS caliber, but trying to get out of the rival series and or stay in. A good bump there from Magnus to keep that offense at bay.
Mummy Snow to drop another one into the zone, and he will not get to this ball from Flakes. Instead, it will be Maestro, who's done it on both ends of the field, leading the league in saves per game, just a shade over 2. As Magnus looking for Greasy Meister, not finding him. And Pondex will land nicely on the side wall, but could not recover and get a piece of that ball. So here's Flakes, who was so good in the first half of the season, kind of tailed off over time, and he can't make anything happen on that play.
Yeah, and I've talked about it so many times when I've been on the desk with the Vikings playing and Complexity, but for Complexity, you gotta have Magnus show up. He's so crucial to this team's success right now. He's second last for shooting accuracy on the season. He's at 14%. If he can start hitting his mark, this team is unstoppable.
Flakes tried to dribble that ball, but he's taken out of the play by Mummy Snow, who also gets a piece of Greasy Meister, and that's gonna lead to a goal from Pondex.
And Maestro carrying this ball all the way downfield and gets 2 birds with 1 stone out of the net and leaves it wide open for Pondex. And looking like the Vikings taking the early lead.
Great start for the Vikings as they try to fight for survival in the rival series. Come back next season and do it all over again. Pondex popping one away that Magnus will chase down. He will not find a teammate as that ball is taken by Maestro, but it was a double commit as he and Mummy Snow both went for it. Mummy Snow can't recover, and Greasy Meister quickly ties the game.
And look at the field awareness here from Flakes. He realizes he doesn't have a shot, so he dumps the ball off to Greasy. Greasy with a great put on target. These teams gonna be going back and forth all day long.
3:02 remains in game 1. Mummy Snow trying to play that for himself, and Magnus is all over it. Here's Flakes. Pondex got his back turned to him. This is still an awkward ball, and despite a couple of demos, doesn't look like anybody's really gonna have the upper hand here as Maestro has all day to play this ball away. Here comes Flakes, the last guy that the Vikings want to see with the ball, but he does nothing with it.
Yeah, if you see Flakes from week 1, good night. He was on fire. He was a force to be reckoned with. And here comes Pondex off that side wall, gets a soft little tap, but Mummy Snow can't quite find that angle. And we remain tied, but it looks like Complexity facing another shot, and Mummy Snow puts it on target.
Yeah, Mummy Snow coming in here. He's been off and on this season, but he'll get the benefit of a shot that barely missed the mark from Maestro, and that's what the Vikings have needed, those second chance opportunities. They get one there, and now it is the Vikings back in front. As back and forth these teams go. Every mistake amplified to a degree unlike any other so far this season, with so much on the line for both teams. Pondex will throw one across, and that goes over one defender, but Magnus is there. That means Greasy Meister's still downfield, but nothing comes from it just yet.
Great
Flakes
pass.
can't get there in time either.
Yeah, good pass there to see Pondex, because you had Flakes just sniping. Greasy looking for the small corner, but can't quite get it underneath the defender. Looks like Complexity trying to get that second goal back. Greasy with a good challenge there.
This will drop down. Did Mummy Snow get a piece of that? He did. No, he didn't. then Pondex will score. It looked like Mummy Snow spiked that down.
Hey, sometimes those upper corners are your worst nightmare, and look at that bounce down. Pondex just waiting patiently, increases the lead to 2.
I think Mummy Snow should get an assist just for being there, though. The idea was on point, and as a result, Pondex has his second goal and a 3-1 lead now for the Vikings. They're looking to add to that lead. Greasy Meister in a tough spot defensively. Pondex has to find a way to turn around. He does. Still trying to fight through the defense. He does. And Flakes will calmly send this ball away, but it didn't look easy.
Yeah, not a lot of boosts. Let's see if Maestro can do anything. He's just trying to avoid the bump. Knows Flakes doesn't have a lot. He's not going to do too much with that ball, but still, the ball in the Vikings half. Great pass from Magnus, and Flakes puts the shot on target. Great infield passing play.
This really looked like the defender was going to get there. I thought Mummy Snow had this all the way, but Flakes just puts it where he's not, puts it right by both defenders, and Complexity are not going away just yet.
But look at the amount of shots on board for the Vikings. 10 to Complexity's 4.
And this ball goes all the way back to midfield. Complexity looking for another shot. They will get none. Mummy Snow will get the 11th shot of the game for the Vikings, and that will be sent away by Magnus.
Uh-oh.
This could be trouble. Flakes can't really control it, but still able to stay with the play. And finally, Pondex drops another one back to the midfield line.
Oh, look at Mummy Snow already up, trying to get that pinch to wrap around, but Greasy, he's seen that many times, able to steer that one away. 30 seconds to go. Complexity working downfield.
And now it's the Vikings killing off more of the clock. Loose ball in front. Magnus has to make a reflex save. He guessed right in the middle of the net. Pondex can't dunk it through. Maestro killing off more time as Pondex interferes in front. Greasy Meister goes over Mummy Snow. Maybe they got too greedy. Flakes is set off by Pondex, and it was so close. They almost got burned, but the Vikings recovered just in the nick of time to take game 1.
Ooh, hang on by a thread at the very end. Oh my goodness, Complexity had the opportunity, but just couldn't quite get the scoop to flick the ball up towards net. What a showing from the Vikings, though. So many shots on target, 13. Just an offensive powerhouse.
That was stunning, though, at the end, because it looked like the Vikings were going all in trying to get that insurance goal. Looked for the knockout blow, and they almost punched themselves out of game 1.
And ARG is starting to get closer and closer to their edge of their seat right now. Remember, if the Vikings win this, ARG find themselves in top 2 and go to that promotion tournament. They are the biggest fans of the Vikings right now, but Complexity, they looked good, but they didn't get the shots on target, which was insane. It seemed like their offense was great, but they were just working the corners, not the midfield very much.
I think the key player I want to highlight for Complexity is Magnus. He's been absent for parts of the season, but today, with Complexity having renewed life, he has been outstanding. At the top of the leaderboard for them, he had a lot of saves, but a couple of key opportunities that he set up for Complexity. If he continues that, Complexity's got more than just a simple shot in this match.
Yeah, he had a great pass to Flakes in game number 1, but he's going to need to do more. I talked about it before this match started. I want to see goals from him. We need to see goals from him. Complexity needs him to show up in game number 2 to tie up this series.
And we are underway in that game number 2. A chance for the Vikings to go on match point if they repeat what they did in game 1. But here's Magnus, who we just talked about, blocked by Pondex. Downfield this goes! What a redirect from Pondex! Greasy never had a chance!
Are you serious? Look at the heads-up play from Pondex. Somehow gets the touch with the Batmobile and rings it off the corner. Great play from the Vikings.
Greasy did literally everything he possibly could there, and the shot just sizzled right by him. And now Pondex looking for another. He got a demo from Maestro, who almost got a piece of Flakes as well. The Vikings are all over Complexity in the early stages of game 2.
Goodness gracious, you can't do much as a defender there. You said it, he did what he could, but that redirect, you don't see that coming, especially not that fast.
Greasy, after he takes a deep breath, will send this downfield. Flakes trying to dribble right through everybody, and Mummy Snow swats it away. Magnus lobbing one in. Pondex makes sure not to center it for them. And then another demo for Mummy Snow takes out Flakes. Here goes Maestro to an empty net, and it's 2-0.
Ooh, if you're that last man back, you better be careful cheating up, because Maestro sees it, gets it over him, and has an open net to work with. The Vikings doing very well in game number 2. The aggression is present on the field.
After the previous series where we talked about defense, 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 it is all offense for both Complexity and the Vikings, more so for the Vikings as they get their 6th goal of the series. Rather, 5th goal, as Maestro now out of the corner. We'll try to dribble this through. He's got Pondex cheating up with him. And now Pondex gonna take the shot after Maestro got a big piece of a defender, but nothing comes from it just yet. Now Magnus, look at his set up. Flakes again, and it's blocked by Maestro. Mummy Snow can just play that off to the side, and he's got all day to play this ball.
Ooh.
Everybody stayed all the way back. Breezy, I think, maybe a little worried after getting burned on that last goal. Took his time coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be in the back of his mind for a good while of this game, so you can expect to see him cheating back for sure, and Mummy Snow has to get this out of the corner. Good pass from Magnus, but both players had already rotated back for boost.
Trust is a big part of defense, as that ball is whiffed by Pondex. Talk about trust, he goes up the ball and misses it entirely. Now Mummy Snow, dunked by Greasy Meister, and the shot's wide. Greasy back on form though. He'll score a few of those if you let him. Pondex over Greasy, so Flakes has to play this away, and he does, but only as far as Maestro. And up to the backboard for Mummy Snow. It's off the crossbar, and Maestro hit the crossbar from point-blank range.
Greasy put it back in his own corner, though, going to allow the Vikings to continue pressure this ball, and good midfield challenge from Maestro there, but look at the shot from Magnus, a little too high, and Maestro is going to be able to boom this downfield for the Vikings.
Greasy thought about the corner boost. He'll give it away to Magnus, who will have to play this ball down towards Greasy Meister, and it's intercepted by Mummy Snow. 2:14 remains on a moving clock, and that's saved off the goal line by Maestro. He waited until the last possible second to play that, and then it's pinched off the ceiling downfield, but not really towards a teammate, and Flakes will make him pay for it.
If you see Flakes in the air, you better expect a shot on target. Maestro sitting on all 4 wheels, doesn't go up. All Flakes has to do is spin so the top of his car puts that shot on target, and we're within 1.
2-1 with 2:01 to go, and a kickoff that's going to go the way of the Vikings. Mummy Snow, and Greasy Meister has to play it away. But now this is popped up by Maestro, and the Vikings remain on the attack, looking to get that goal right back. Flakes, well, this is trouble for Complexity. Magnus is sitting on the other corner boost, hoping it spawns. It finally does. Now Greasy will find him for a shot, and it's high. Flakes will return, and he ties up the game.
And how about the pass from Magnus going up high to get Maestro in the air and just leaves it wide open for Flakes. Good 1-2-3 play from Complexity to tie this game up.
Flakes is starting to feel it. 3 goals now in the series, and another one in this game to tie it up. This Complexity with Flakes going off like that is unbeatable. The Vikings need to cool him off. Greasy Meister throws this to the opposite side, and of course towards Flakes, but Pondex gets there first.
There it is.
Pondex takes out Greasy Meister, but they do nothing about Magnus, who's won that challenge. And guess who he's got in the middle? Flakes, and he can't hit him. Now Pondex. Throwing one towards Mummy Snow, who can't catch up to it because he had nothing in the tank, as you mentioned, Subi. But Maestro does have something in the tank, and he has Mummy Snow taking that midfield boost as well.
Oh, but look at that bounce. Mummy Snow went for the boost there. You wonder if he challenges that ball, could he get the touch to beat out Flakes? But we remain tied, just under a minute to go. Magnus looking to roll this one down. Maestro deals with it, but can't quite get it cleared away. And Complexity starting to march down the field, and Mummy Snow gets under that ball, almost own goals that.
Maestro blocked by Magnus, who can follow this play, but he missed it. Now Flakes, he hasn't missed much, but he does here just wide.
Vikings get away with one there.
Mummy Snow for Pondex, and it's blocked by Magnus. Pondex just missing, barely. Mummy Snow redirects this. It's going to be a little wide, and Greasy Meister plays it away with now 10 seconds left. Pondex to center. It's Maestro, and he couldn't find the angle. And now a chance on the counterattack. Complexity looking to steal game 2. Flakes at the buzzer puts it to the ground.
Both these teams fighting so hard, so much on the line, and this overtime is so crucial for Complexity. They do not want to go down 0-2 against the Vikings.
This is blocked out by Mummy Snow. Pondex will take it. Indirect pass for himself, and now Maestro and company have to scramble back. It's Mummy Snow to play it, but he played it right to Maestro. That almost created a double commit. Instead, Magnus taken out of the play. Maestro against Flakes, and it's off the crossbar. Follow-up is saved by Greasy Meister. What a sequence for Complexity, but they're not out of it just yet. Another double commit in front. Maestro stuffed by Magnus, and now it's finally sent out to the midfield line, and some reprieve, just for a moment, for Complexity before they have to send another one away.
Yeah, they can get a little gasp of fresh air, but they're not done yet. The Vikings continue to put shots on target, and Complexity is running low on boost. Flakes gets the flick over 1, gets the flick over 2, but the defender sends the ball all the way back down to the blue half.
Magnus has given that one away to Mummy Snow, and Greasy Meister there to stop the ensuing ball that came in. This will drop down, and Magnus makes the save. Boy, those are tough to read, but he did so perfectly. And now Pondex, he'll come in right at Magnus, hoping somebody will make a mistake. Nobody does. It's Flakes the other way. Someone has to challenge. Lack of communication almost cost them, but Pondex bails out his teammates.
Oh, nice flick from Greasy. Now's the time to strike for Complexity. The Vikings playing extremely aggressive, starting to get a little bit of out of position on the defensive end. You see a slight double commit there. If Complexity can keep this ball in the orange half, it could be the game.
Magnus keeps us in the zone. Flakes thought about coming up. Now he will, after I think Magnus got a piece of Mummy Snow, but nobody's in front. And Pondex skies it away.
That net's
Greasy
open.
Meister, does he have this? Yes, he does! And the series is tied!
And Complexity hold on in the offensive zone. The Vikings unable to clear this ball, and Greasy feathers the boost to put it right in the goal. 1-1 is the series. So much for both teams.
Oh, that was incredible. We haven't really seen Greasy Meister go off like that. He hasn't really had many highlight plays. That one, certainly one for the real. And now on the 12th shot of the series, after that lengthy overtime, you'd think they'd have more. They don't, but they have tied up this series.
Whoo, baby. This is a match you want to end the day with. This is a match you want to decide for so many teams looking for top 4. So many exciting plays. It looked like Complexity was done. The Vikings were so present in the offensive half, just putting tons of shots on target, bumps all over the place. And I said it, hey, if they can keep this ball in the zone, they're going to win. And they do exactly that. The Vikings, 2 men rotated out. One tried to challenge the ball, got a poor touch. Wide open net, and Greasy, just a monster at Rocket League. He's able to come out with those very beautiful plays.
We knew these two teams would be right near each other at the end of the season. We didn't think one would be 4-3, one would be 3-4, but that's what we're looking at. We've been treated to 2 outstanding games so far.
Yeah, we have. So game 3 can only build upon that.
Right,
I sure hope so.
A tough act to follow, right? 22 shots for the Vikings in this series, only 12 for Complexity. 6 in game 1, 6 in game 2, including that game winner right there from Greasy.
Yeah, and it's just the Complexity relying on their defense, just trying to hold down that back line. And when you have a player like Flakes who does so much for you, he's great on defense, great on offense, you can't do wrong.
It is game number 3 to break this 1-1 tie. And a lot of teams sweating this one out. Method sweating out whether or not they'll get into the top 4. ARG hoping the Vikings come through for a chance at the bricks in the promotion tournament. Popped up to the back wall by Pondex. He could not read that, though. It came off at a bit of a low angle, and it goes right by him. And now the Complexity squad are back on the offensive end.
So if you had to bet, Stacks, you saying this is going to be high scoring or low scoring?
Oh, high scoring. Neither team's really stopped the other for the most part. Greasy Meister almost converted. Had the same problem that Pondex had, though, the ball angling down, and he couldn't read it.
Yeah, it's very hard to read that back curve of the ceiling, and a good pop-up for Flakes. Flakes goes up looking for a double tap. Pondex reads it beautifully, though, and sends this ball back towards midfield.
Flakes takes out Mummy Snow, so that means Maestro has to get there, and he barely does before Magnus takes him out of the play. Saw a lot of demos from the Vikings in game 1, and now Complexity in the last couple of games here have started to return the favor. Flakes actually got bumped on that play, but he was bumped into position to stop that ball from Maestro. And Mummy Snow will just guide this off to the corner, but it's trouble. All 3 orange cars right there jumbled up in the corner. Someone has to go. It's finally Maestro, and he challenges Flakes pretty efficiently there.
Yeah, and the bump didn't come out from Greasy Meister. And speaking of bumps, I think that's how you're going to have to deal with Flakes. Try and get inside his head, purposely look for him on the field and delete him. Get inside. Oh, the pass up, but Greasy couldn't get up in time. I'm loving the heads-up play we're seeing from Magnus in this series.
That's a great play by Maestro to find Mummy Snow. A good, strong pass. Mummy Snow just missing the angle to bomb it downfield. This will drop down, though, and Mummy Snow there on the doorstep. Maestro was expecting a clear that never came, so his shot is high, and the follow-up from Magnus rolls into an empty net.
And there it is. Magnus sees the defender has no boost. Mummy Snow gets the touch and accidentally rolls into it to push it downfield. All Magnus has to do is put it between the dotted lines, and Complexity has the lead early in game 1.
Really feels like a 2-goal swing there. The Vikings should have had a goal denied on the goal line if Maestro is able to react just a half second sooner. Flakes got the flip reset, but Maestro up to the challenge. And it'll be Mummy Snow to send this out of harm's way for the moment. This will kiss the ceiling, and Flakes didn't really get a big touch on it, but he found Greasy Meister, whose shot had to be contested by Pondex.
Yeah, not an easy save going backwards there, trying to hit it where the player from Complexity is not, and this ball just sits in midfield. Magnus, again, there to poke that ball. He is everywhere in this series. He's not scoring a ton of goals. He has 1 in game 3 so far, but my oh my, he's doing so much more for this Complexity squad.
Magnus just banking another one in, and he'll have to win the race to the midfield line. He does to get the boost from Mummy Snow, and I think he got a piece of him as well. Mummy Snow can't recover and get a centering pass off, so here comes Flakes. He'll go right by one, but he's just stuffed slam ball style by the best defender in the league in Maestro.
Holy cow, I do not want to see Flakes. If you're in a 1v1 scenario, you just know that he's trying to make you look silly.
Flakes will try again off the corner, and Pondex will have it. Magnus at Maestro, who makes another stop. Banked out again, Greasy Meister has Flakes there too. Greasy scores another.
And great communication from Greasy here. He sees Flakes up on that back wall, knows that he has the read, says, don't touch it, I've got this, and puts it right on target. 2-0 lead in favor of Complexity.
Top right corner for the game winner in overtime last game, and one big time goal here to extend the lead. Kickoff goal, now Maestro recovers. Now Magnus looking for a teammate, instead finding Maestro. Worst case scenario, Pondex has Maestro downfield, but also Flakes there to make the stop. Pondex will try again, looking for Mummy Snow. He found him, but the shot saved by Greasy. Double commit will be saved by Flakes as the ball was halfway across, and it looked like Complexity were gonna steal another goal, but they're gonna have to work for this one.
Oh my goodness, that ball was blinking. It was so far in net. Vikings can't do anything. They can't even will it into the back of the net, and here comes Flakes. Gets it past the defender, gets it on target, and puts another one on the board for Complexity.
Flakes now has 4 goals in this series. He has woken up since game number 1, and a 3-goal lead now for Complexity. They look to be on form, looking to be 1 win away from the promotion tournament after what has certainly been a roller coaster of a season. Maestro, he's determined to play spoiler. So too is Pondex, but he's got to keep Flakes off of this ball. Easier said than done, as Flakes really has felt like a hot knife through butter going through the defense of the Vikings, and Magnus' shot is going to be blocked by Pondex, but they don't need any more to go in. They just need time off the clock, and that's what's happening right now. 20 seconds remain with a 3-goal lead. It is Maestro. Playing another one through that Flakes will stop. 10 seconds remain as Pondex blocks another one away, but there is not going to be enough time for the Vikings to get back into this game. Magnus delivers the final blow in Game 3, and now we look ahead to Game 4, Subi, and the promotion tournament on the line for Complexity.
So important was this game. Complexity turned it completely around. And how about the challenges? There were no balls just sitting at midfield waiting for someone to hit it. Complexity was right there. The Vikings playing a little too slow, a little too spread out. And Flakes trying to get a highlight reel goal there. Doesn't quite do that, and Magnus says, hey.
Oh, now that would have been great. He gets the demo and keeps the ball up. Maybe shades of a Squishy dribbling out after the clock hit 0 last season, but nonetheless.
Some say that he's still carrying the ball.
Right. Well, right now, Flakes continues. It's not as much of a carry job as it was in the beginning of the season, but he's leading the way for Complexity. And now, with their second lease on life, Subi, one more shot at the promotion tournament.
Yeah, the Vikings, like I was saying, they need to tighten things up. They need to have someone that's challenging the ball, because honestly, Complexity challenges a ball, gets a good 50-50 that's just kind of neutral. It sits there, and no one from the Vikings is there close enough to be able to challenge again. It's given Complexity the option to either shoot that ball on target, shoot it right above to pull a defender out of net. They're honestly able to do whatever they want because of that first initial challenge at midfield.
And shooting is something they've done a lot since Game 2. They were held to just 12 shots in 2 games. Was it 14 shots in that last game alone? That is quite the offensive explosion from Complexity, as they can really sense now they are closing in on the ultimate goal here out of the rival series.
Yeah, and how about Flakes? If he can do this, if Complexity can win this, my goodness, you're just going to call him the carry of this team. They couldn't have done it without him. He needs to show up. They rely on him so much. He's been getting goals, assists every single game of this series.
And he's good for the occasional save as well. And we're into Game 4. Neo Tokyo, will it be the final resting place for the Vikings season? Remember, they need to win this match to get into the top 4, and Magnus misses, of all people, to have that look at point-blank range. The player with the lowest shooting percentage on the team, and he missed a sitter.
Oh my goodness, they want that back. They want another try. They want a mulligan, but it's not gonna happen. The scoreline remains 0-0, and the Vikings have a breath of life. And how about that touch from Maestro?
I didn't give Maestro a chance on this, as this ball drops down, perfectly placed from Pondex. Even better going against his momentum. Maestro able to find the upper 90 and a 1-0 lead for the Vikings.
And when you're a defender, when you see a player coming in looking for those cross-body shots, you're not expecting a lot of power, and Maestro brought it. But here comes Flake, so dangerous in the air. And a double commit, gonna leave it open for Magnus. And again, doesn't get a hard shot. Pondex turns it away, and the Vikings hold on to this lead.
And unfortunately, that follow-up attempt counts as a shot too, as the ball pinballed around. Happens to bounce off of Magnus just high. Now out of the corner, it's sent downfield by Pondex. Greasymeister has to collect. And the big dunk by Maestro. That will find Magnus. That will find Greasymeister. And it will fall to Pondex, who will find Maestro as these teams just sprint up and down the field. Pondex leaves one for Mummy Snow. Clever play has set up an opportunity that Flakes has contended with, and Magnus gets there to clean it up.
Oh, that ball just spending so much time in the blue box, but the Vikings unable to score, but they're not done. Here comes Pondex trying to get it on target, but Magnus sends it aside, looking to go downfield for a cherry pick, and gets himself out of position. And the shot from Mummy Snow again, ringing off the crossbar.
Pondex coming in as well. Complexity just cannot get out of their own zone for any appreciable amount of time. Finally, they might. Maestro has that ball go off his back. Somebody's got to take the ball, and Flakes is sitting there waiting for someone to take over.
He was watching them dance. It was beautiful.
Well, they don't have a whole lot of time on their side. 3 minutes, to get back into this game. This will drop down, and it's Pondex who slams it home.
Pondex comes in with so much speed behind him. It doesn't matter what the defender does. He's going to just push that ball into the net, and look at the shot on target. Pondex and Maestro working so well together in game number 4.
Pondex has had some loud goals in this series. That his 4th to lead his team. In fact, it leads all scorers, tied with Flakes in the series. Here is Flakes, the man of the hour. Looking to get a piece of Maestro. He could not. Greasy and Magnus both go for this ball, and neither really got a good piece of it. Here comes Pondex on the counterattack. Mummy Snow might be able to play this himself. He can't, and Flakes does. Maestro, what does he have up his sleeve here? He gets a piece of Greasy. This could be trouble as Magnus clears it away, and now Flakes the only one left to defend this.
Good cut from Pondex to break rotation to keep this ball in the blue half. Mummy Snow just trying to poke it up, and Maestro rotates back to defense and easily clears this ball away.
Flakes looking to chase one down, but Mummy Snow has it on the back wall. He's had a little trouble with balls in the corner this series, but he's sure-handed there. And now Maestro just throws one downfield that Mummy Snow can chase after.
Oh, great pass.
It is Flakes throwing one in front. Greasy Meister lurking. That is trouble. Magnus comes in, and it was almost saved, but Magnus gets the goal.
Gives them the breath of fresh air here. Magnus comes in and brings the scoreline within 1, sees the hole in the defenders, and capitalizes. But the double commit is what hurt the Vikings there. They need to rely on their communication in these last 2 minutes.
Big kickoff here. We've seen a lot just kind of killed neutral at the center dot. But this one is controlled by Maestro, only for a moment. Flakes comes in, sets up Greasy Meister, tie game!
And all it took was 10 seconds and we have a tie ball game. The aggression present on the field for Complexity. Great challenge from Flakes, and the defense just flat-footed allows Greasy to put that one on target.
Greasy Meister adds his 4th goal of the series. None bigger than that one right there, perhaps. Tying up game 4, and a chance to go on the attack again. Tough angle if he can convert. He'll set it for Magnus, who'll set for Flakes, but the ball is cleared away. Vikings will not get possession, however. Flakes takes out Pondex. Ball in front. Pondex thought about going. Nobody's going to take this ball, and finally, the challenge is controlled by the Vikings.
The Vikings playing extremely hesitant now. Just realizing how fast Complexity can score goals. They need to be a little more aggressive. They're giving way too much room to Complexity right now.
They are the underdogs in this series, and so often you see in a boxing fight, the underdog will get a few licks in, but once he gets hit in the face one time, then they start to hesitate. Pondex looking to deal another big blow, but that one's going to be high. Follow-up is saved as well by Magnus on his way out.
There we go, less than a minute to go, all tied up. The Vikings marching down the field, but how about the pass? Cut off by Pondex, and a good heads-up play from Mummy Snow and Pondex to kill this ball.
Oh, nobody went for this ball. Maestro thought about it. That hesitation might cost them. Flakes throws another one in front that Pondex sends away right down the middle of the field. Vikings might have got away with one. Magnus can't redirect beyond Mummy Snow, and it'll be Mummy just trying to play this out and get an angle on Flakes. Greasy Meister can't follow this play up either.
Oh.
It is Flakes with a big drive. It's well wide. Missed off the back wall by Mummy Snow, who barely recovers. Still loose in front, then Pondex gets back. With no time on the clock, we go to OT again.
Whoo, you better thank their lucky stars on that one. They got out clean into this overtime.
And it's going to be no kickoff goal by the look of things. Maestro will have this on his own back corner. Again, here are the stakes. If the next goal comes from Complexity, the promotion tournament is set. Complexity will go number 2. Vikings will be out of the top 4. If the Vikings can stave off this attack, get downfield and score, we will have a 5th game. Mummy Snow dealing with Flakes. Greasy Meister for Magnus, and it's blocked in part by Pondex. Still loose in front. Magnus got a piece. Pondex has to get there, and he barely does.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Complexity almost had it right there.
Magnus, Pondex is shadowing him here. This will bank off the corner. Mummy Snow to force game 5, and he's pushed it wide. Magnus, big clear downfield. Flakes on his horse going to chase it down. Flakes denied by Pondex. Follow up from Greasy Meister. Hit him where they ain't. Just hard to do. Both these teams have a ton of speed, but Mummy Snow misses. And Maestro is there to recover. Tough angle, looking for Pondex. He's found him, but the shot's high.
That is just so many shots off the crossbar for the Vikings in this game. They are going to look at this tape if they lose and say, we could have had them. But they still hold on. We remain tied. Minute and a half has gone by in overtime.
Mummy Snow has no boost to work with. What little he has, he uses to correct his car. It is Maestro popping one up, and Greasy Meister right there. Tell me these two players aren't familiar with each other. Mummy Snow looking for Pondex. That goes beyond Flakes. And now it will be Pondex turning around, trying to keep the attack alive for the Vikings.
That works well in the favor of the Vikings if there was a challenge on this ball, but you're going to allow Flakes, one of the best 1v1 players in the rival series, to get that ball out and give some breathing space to Complexity.
Challenge won by nobody. That shot's going to drift wide, and Mummy Snow will have it. Mummy Snow challenged by Magnus. Here's Greasy Meister for the promotion tournament. Greasy Meister says, bring on the bricks.
And Complexity punched their ticket to the promotion tournament, but look at Magnus. Says, defender, no defender now. Opens the net up for Greasy, and the seasoned veteran takes it in overtime.
A new logo and a new lease on life for Complexity.